Donald Trump loves to pretend that he hates Hollywood. He hates celebrities. He hates those liberal coastal elites. And yet he can't seem to quit them, because as the Oscars were going on, he was 100% watching and pretending that he didn't like anything that he saw. So he sent out this message on True Social saying, "Has there ever been a worse host than Jimmy Kimmel at the Capitol of the Oscars? His opening was that of a less than average person trying too hard to be something which he is not and never can be. Get rid of Kimmel and perhaps replace him with another washed up but cheap ABC talent, George Stephanopoulos." Why is George Stephanopoulos being attacked?
Why you gotta bring him into this?
What does he have to do with the Oscars? He's a political guy, you weirdo. Stay in a lane. I understand that you're doing Spacecki, but like stay on topic. Anyway, he would make everybody on stage look bigger, stronger, and more glamorous. Also, a really bad politically correct show tonight, and for years. Capital D, disjointed, boring, and very unfair. Who is it unfair to? Were you a big fan of Maestro and you think that it didn't get its due? Did you think that Margot Robbie deserved a nomination for Barbie? What was unfair about it?
Exactly.
Anyway, and I love that like his issue with George Stephanopoulos is that he's not physically impressive enough. Okay, I don't think that's supposed to be his appeal.
Before we continue with the story, we depend on members to keep on going. Don't wait, click join now on YouTube.
But anyway, I first saw that message, Francesca, not on True Social. I saw it when Jimmy Kimmel live read it on stage. And then his response is pretty simple to Donald Trump. He said, "Isn't it past your jail time?" And I'm not a huge Jimmy Kimmel fan. I'm more of a Colbert guy, but that's a pretty good line. I did appreciate that.
Oh, I thought it was brilliant. And I actually really like Kimmel. What I like about Kimmel is that he is very effortless. Like Kimmel has the thing that comics always want, which is crushing while seeming like you're just talking. And Colbert does a lot. He's very big and Kimmel's super understated. And I thought he was perfect. Like I rewatched his monologue and I was like, man, that was perfect. Like he wasn't trying to do too much, but that moment of, isn't it past your jail time? Not even trying to hit it too hard. Again, just like, isn't that past your jail time? Mwah. It was so brilliant.
And just, you know what I loved about it? So it was good. And by the way, when I say I prefer like Colbert, I just don't watch the Kimmel show. I like him as the host of the Oscars. I think that he does a great job. I think there's a reason they brought him back like 4 times. Just, I don't watch a lot of late night TV and I'm already watching Colbert. So like, I like Seth Meyers, but I don't watch Seth Meyers. I love Colbert.
I don't watch any of these. I don't watch any.
I don't really, but
not 50.
Yeah, but shut up. But what I like is Donald Trump, he has to tune in. He has to. But he also can't help but comment about it. Like you could have just watched it and not liked it, or realistically watched and liked it. I mean, that's why you're watching it. You could just watch something else, you weirdo. But then he has to say something, and that led to the jail time thing. And that was a burn against Trump. But they then turned the camera to the audience, and every one of these famous people that he desperately wishes liked him are laughing in his face over it. They're all laughing, and not just about him being mocked, but about the fact that he faces the possibility of going to jail. You have Margot Robbie, Trump, laughing at the fact that you're gonna be locked up, knowing that when you do get locked up, Margot Robbie and all these other women that you desperately wish you could get with are gonna love the fact that you're no longer free. And he brought that on himself because he just couldn't let it go. Okay, he had to say something.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's like when it's like when John Oliver mocks like Elon Musk and they have to tweet about it. All John Oliver wants is to know that it bothered you, you dumb donkey. Just don't say anything. But they're too stupid.
Do we have dumb donkey shirts yet?
We should have dumb donkey. You know, people are gonna take it seriously. Everybody's like, donkeys are nice. I'm not actually besmirching donkeys. Anyway, look, that was all funny. That wasn't honestly why I want to talk about the Oscars. It was mainly this, is that there was a little bit of political advocacy, and I thought that Francesca, you might appreciate it. You had some people wearing ceasefire pins, Billie Eilish, Mark Ruffalo, Rami Youssef. I think, did Mark Ruffalo win an award? He might have won.
I don't think so,
he didn't win for Poor Things?
Eilish won.
Yeah, she did.
For her Barbie song. The fact that Billie Eilish wore a pin, I think is huge. It's an artist for ceasefire pin. And Billie Eilish is arguably the biggest celebrity that you care about at the Oscars if you're under 30.
Well, I'm not under 30, so I only like Robert De Niro or something. I liked Al Pacino in the way that he totally ruined the revelation of Best Picture. But anyway, it wasn't just the.
I forgot.
It was so weird. What are you doing, Al Pacino? That was weird. Like people work their whole careers to get that, and you kind of ruined it a little bit. But anyway, you also had director Jonathan Glazer, who condemned what he referred to as the occupation and bombing of Gaza. He was the most clear out of anyone about all this. He said, "Our film shows where dehumanization leads at its worst. Right now, we stand here as men who refute their Jewishness and the Holocaust being hijacked by an occupation which has led to conflict for so many innocent people. Whether the victims of October the 7th in Israel or the ongoing attack on Gaza, all the victims of this dehumanization, how do we resist?" And that was like, my stream actually froze briefly on that. It had happened a few times, so I don't think it was like censorship or whatever. But that was about as strong as you would have seen in the comment, and I love to see a little bit of that. What'd you think?
And then it was incredibly poignant, and the fact that he was accepting for a film about the Holocaust, about Auschwitz, that it was a foreign film, made sense, and that he said, and he and his I guess producers or directors are Jewish, and you're in a town, you're in Hollywood, right? There are a lot of Jews in Hollywood, and it got an applause. That is massive, you guys. I think we need to understand that Michael Moore, when he spoke out against the Iraq War in the year 2003, was booed. And a couple years later, everyone was like, nope, it was awful. Now we're seeing 31,000 Palestinians and of course 1,200 Israelis murdered later. That like there is no more fear anymore, and that Jews are actually leading the call for peace as they did outside of the Oscars, inside of the Oscars. So just amazing hats off to Jonathan Glazer.
Yeah, I liked it. Yeah, very much so. Was there anything else that happened at the Oscars that you wanted to mention since we're on the topic?
I mean, I did rewatch Ryan Gosling sing "I'm Just Ken" twice, and I slept very good thinking about it.
I missed that part. I was taking care of the baby. I have not seen any. I watched some of Oppenheimer. This was just not a year in Best Picture movies for me. I was not interested in really any of them. But I will say, I'm kind of curious about
Not enough explosions or superheroes.
I don't. Well, shut up. Those are good movies.
Where's
the
it?
Marvels is good. Anyway, I will say that Emma Stone's acceptance was very touching. She seems delightful. I loved how overcome she was with emotion, and I might have to watch Poor Things as a result of that.